I hope y'all can see me. This is a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. Hi, I'm Glenn Sutphin. Welcome to Get the News Straight. This is going to be messed up, folks. We're going to try to do this. Nothing is working. My equipment sucks. But you get what you get. So, without further ado, I'm going to contact Chris on Skype, and we're going to try to do an interview here. Hey Chris, welcome to the show, mate. Welcome to the show.
Hey, greetings. Hey, greetings. How's it going, Glenn? Sounds good.
Where should we start?
Well, I think it might be a good idea to start with the Donald Trump Mike Morrell issue, since that's the first in the news, and that'll segue into a lot of the other stuff that we're covering.
Fill everybody in.
Okay, yeah. Former CIA head Mike Morrell today stated in an op-ed that he would not support Donald Trump for president, and that he did not think it was safe to give Donald Trump sort of inside information into the government of the United States, and basically called him a agent of Russia. And I thought that was real funny, considering that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, through the Clinton Foundation, have taken millions and millions of dollars from the institutions that control the Russian government and the individuals who control the Russian government. And on top of that, and I think this is most important, while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, she and every other cabinet level position in the United States government, from Defense Department to Department of Energy, they signed off and brokered a deal, but mostly Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State, giving away 20% of the uranium production in the United States to the Russian state-owned atomic energy corporation called Rosatom. And this deal was brokered between Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and Vladimir Putin, and obviously the head of Rosatom, the Jewish oligarch. And that this happened through a deal with Uranium One, which was a Canadian company which owned the uranium mines in Oregon, in Texas, and Utah that Rosatom now runs. And Frank Guistra is a business partner with Bill Clinton. And right before the deal was signed off, Bill Clinton had speaking engagements in Russia where he received flat fees of $500,000 a pop for multiple speaking appearances. Anyway, yeah, that's a lot. Now it is true that Donald Trump is an agent of the Russian government, but so is Hillary Clinton. Now, we want to bring up what we brought up before, that Putin is a KGB agent, and that we're experiencing, America is becoming a Soviet-style government, and it has been for nearly 100 years. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because we just kind of discussed that for maybe 30 seconds before we went to air. So I think that's a big story as far as the Russian government seems to be playing a big role with the DNC hack scandal and the very close connection between both candidates and Russian oligarchs that control the Russian government and Vladimir Putin, of course. KGB, arch Freemason, and Jew. Okay.
It's not very effective. Yeah, this technology sucks. I'm really getting tired of technology. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's been an issue for a while.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, well, everybody knows about my problems with computers and stuff, but anyway, let's just keep going on where we're at. I've lost the thought pattern here.
So maybe we'll talk about the Chicago incident too, and that segue into Baltimore County police shooting alleged, we should say, of Corinne Gaines, her 5-year-old son.
Let's get into that for a minute then.
Yeah.
I haven't been following the news too much here lately because I've been working on the computer and everything else.
Okay. So in Chicago, we have police today of some footage of an alleged incident where the Chicago police shot an 18-year-old. It was allegedly due to a stolen car, and there's still missing video from that. And you and I have covered a lot of this stuff in the past. We document how the police are killing at least 1,200 Americans every year just by shooting them on the streets. And it's changed because a lot of the police shootings don't seem to be genuine ones. Now, we know that the police are mass murdering American people, but it seems like the Philando Castile incident and the Alton Betrayal Sterlings, which is the guy's real name, and the media calls him Alton Sterling, which is not his real name. It's an alias of Alton Betrayal Sterlings. It seems that these are all fake, that they're not what they seem, that they're even going as far at this point as to fabricate video incidents. And this would be a nice segue into Corinne Gaines, who was a Baltimore County, Maryland woman who allegedly got into some dabbling into some, this is the story, sovereign citizen activity, that she was driving around with a cardboard triangle where most persons' Maryland license plate is, and it said something about.
Start over. You're breaking up on the site.
Okay, yeah, just real quick about Corinne Gaines. What started the Corinne Gaines incident, which a woman who was shot by Baltimore County police, and also her son was allegedly shot inside her own home in Baltimore County on the 1st, August 1st. And this seemed to stem from an incident, and she videotaped where she was pulled over by Baltimore County police because she did not have a Maryland license plate, instead a triangle cardboard cutout that had some correctly worded or clumsily worded sovereign citizen jargon. And allegedly the cops were there to serve a warrant. She allegedly, according to the reports, which are always contradicting themselves, barricaded herself inside of her apartment, allegedly with a shotgun, with a long-barreled shotgun, and was releasing videos on Facebook, which are now gone, or most of them are now gone. There's a few that are still around on Facebook during the standoff. And this seems to be, from my research, this seems to be entirely fabricated. It seems to be something that fits in with numerous coincidences that have to do with Baltimore County police getting new body cameras that were introduced to the department on July 1st, 2016, and then on August 1st, 2016, the Corinne Gaines incident happens. Now, on top of that, there is the coincidence of every officer in the Freddie Gray incident was acquitted. Now, this is after the trial of Caesar Goodson and Edward Nero. Now, these are starting to fit in with these name games and the race war psyop, because this is fall of the Republic with Caesar and Nero, and race war psyop because black and white make Freddie Gray. 3 black officers, 3 white officers, Gray State with the martial law psyop, the Gray State movie, the assassination of the producers of the Gray State movie right before the Freddie Gray incident. So this fits into, and of course they say Corinne Gaines was a black woman. She looked like she was probably 80 to 90% European and had some African American. And they're saying that this is definitely white officers killed her, when in fact we know that probably about 40 to 50% of the Baltimore City and Baltimore County police are non-European, and about 35 to 40% are African American. And that I called Baltimore County Police and talked to a commanding officer on duty. This video is up on YouTube now. And they stated that there were no cameras on the scene. It seems that would be outrageous, since there are cameras at in the department, and there's a standoff, and that would seem that that would be the place where all of the cameras for that jurisdiction. And also, if there's a standoff, Maryland police are going to be there. There's going to be DHS there. There's going to be FBI there. It's not just going to be an exclusively Baltimore County police operation. So this whole thing, it doesn't seem to make any sense. And then we want to get into the entertainment aspect of this, and her cousin, who now they're saying is her step cousin, Taylor Champ, who basically they just take the name of Champ Bailey and Sean Taylor, both famous Redskins football players, and this will fit in soon too with the entertainment aspect. And basically, what this Champ Taylor, what she says she is an actor. And this is according to her Twitter page, which is the source for a lot of this wiki information that's coming out about Corinne Gaines. So they show Champ Taylor, and basically it's a fake account, and she is wearing she calls herself the original Abercrombie Beyonce. So we got that Illuminati Beyonce aspect to this story as well. And then we have one of the pictures featured on her site, and this is Champ Taylor, or Taylor Champ, whatever she's calling herself, whatever the fake name is calling this woman. Her and her boyfriend wearing the number 13 jersey, Manny Machado, Baltimore Orioles jersey, number 13, key number to this psyop. And so basically what we have is the same old sort of thing, where the victim consciousness is saying, oh, the police, they're killing everyone, not even considering that this is all fake. And then we've got the idiot white trash narrative, which is the government narrative, both of the government narratives. It's a dueling government narrative, saying she should have complied with the police and she deserved to die. Basically, that's where the government is telling us the two arguments over this fake story are. And so that's basically what we're dealing with. And what you and I do is we take the multiple sides of the lie, the arguments that they set forward out of the story that's a complete fabrication, and we analyze every aspect of this I mean, it's a ball of yarn of just subterfuge.
It's all a big psyop. I was reading before we went to air that they said something about it was suicide by cop is what they're trying to portray it as now, that she was wanting to die and she did this for the Black Lives Movement and just pushing the same fucking narrative of black and white is the same shit we deal with every day, and just filling in with what you were going with.
That's exactly right, Glenn. That's it. And basically, here's the other thing. They say, oh, no, she's been doing this a while. She's a sovereign citizen, and she's black.
Citizen.
No.
That's a contradiction right there.
It is.
Okay, you're a master and a slave in that same fucking word there.
Okay.
It doesn't make... I'm tired of the sovereign citizen bull.
Right, and let's make the point right there, that the 14th Amendment, it defines what the word citizen means under the United States law, and basically it takes the sovereign, which is laid forward in every other part leading up to the 14th Amendment, especially the preamble where it states the people ordain the government, and then the 14th Amendment says, hey, if you're a citizen born or naturalized inside the United States, you're under the jurisdiction of the United States. So yes, that's right, you can't be a sovereign citizen.
And besides which, the United States dissolved about 20 years ago when they went to the North American Union, and therefore the Constitution was rendered inefficient because of that, and there's a new Constitution that came out, but they won't show it. They just keep saying we're still under the same Constitution, which we're not. But
exactly.
That's for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back to her, is there anything else that you wanted to fill in about her?
Well, I just want to say that it's like this is fake. It seems like that this Chicago story that happened 8 days ago, it seems like there's always a lag between these racial psyop shootings and the coverage of the national media, and in some instances, the coverage of the national and international media, it seems to fall short of, where there's a serious incident and then a less serious incident, and less compelling incident is all over the news media, and the one that is full of the most holes is ignored. But this might be a good segue into Richard Gutjahr, Enoch Wilf, and Munich and Nice, France, Bastille Day, PSYOP, fake, staged, false flag, whatever you want to call them, hoaxes. And this is interesting because we do have these staged events staged by the government that overtake every single other news item for days and days and days, and they are fake. They're not real. Whatever is being said on the media about them, it didn't happen. And in most cases, actually, let me phrase that. In all cases, the information coming out from the government-controlled sources, we can go the police, military intelligence, the media, they all contradict themselves, are obviously state hoaxes, and Gutjahr, because he is the connecting point between Nice, France, rampage and shooting at the same time. This idiot guy who's a big loser and steal a truck. All the freaking military intelligence and military security in Nice, France, they're all there by the hundreds and by the thousands, all the police, and he can at the same time run over and kill, mutilate 8 while he's at the same time.
Yeah.
They can stop him, even though there's a literal army at the time? Okay, so that's your first.
And well, also it was a gun-free zone. Where did he get the gun to fire? I mean, all these immigrants have all these weapons, and they're in these gun-free zones, but yet citizens are not allowed to have weapons.
Right. Great point, Glenn.
It's like, oh, well, we got to take away all the weapons. You already fucking took away all the goddamn weapons. The only people that have them are the people staging the fucking events. I mean, and you can't get this through to the fucking sheep because they go, well, he had a gun. Where'd he get it from? Well, it came out his butt. I mean, obviously.
Oh, no. Remember, he had a bunch of weapons in the back seat, in the back of the truck as well.
Weapons too. I was heard that they were a shipment of fake weapons. It didn't work. And so it's like, okay, so he's riding around this truck full of nothing, shit that doesn't work. What was he doing? Selling it to people? I mean, it doesn't.
Okay, Glenn. Hey, let's start to really examine that, and we'll segue to another subject. Go back to the Nice, France, and Munich incident. We'll talk about the incident that happened at Old Trafford weekend of the Barclays Premier League season, where G4S Security was doing a drill at the Old Trafford Mall in Manchester, England, also at Old Trafford football stadium. The last Premier League soccer match of the year between Manchester United and Bournemouth was canceled, and that was because a fake bomb was left by G4S Security in Old Trafford. So again, these fake guns, they make sense because it is a drill. It is a fake stage drill.
Gladio and Rex drills, and getting the G4S, they were also Orlando. The
Omar
Rex
Martin
in Orlando. So I mean, it all starts tying in all these crisis actors and these psyop groups that go around and do all this shit, and then you're not supposed to go, well, wait a minute, he did this one and they did that one and they did that one, but they couldn't be all connected. I mean, it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, let's go into that real quick, Glenn. You're talking about Omar Martin, of course, who is the alleged Orlando shooter. That was obviously a hoax. You and I, we debunked that along with other people. We did that pretty instantaneously, right as it happened. We debunked it already. G4S Security, Omar Martin, G4S Security, Old Trafford, the cancellation of the Manchester United game on the day of the celebration of the so-called fake Queen of England's what was that, 90th birthday celebration. So then we'll get into, yeah, she needs to be executed, literally. Like, so you know, take that out of this one, folks. Yeah. And so, along with everyone, all the leaders of the United States government, under the law, that's what needs to happen. So we'll take that the Nice, France, and Munich, Germany, because you just mentioned it's the same people every time, the same corporations, the same individuals. Now, we all know that these operations emanate mostly from the Mossad. Now, they're, as you said, Gladio drills, Operation Gladio, which is part of a NATO operation. You know, they're Rex drills. They're all these things, but also mostly they're all at least advantageous to the Greater Israel Project for New American Century, and that's the project which puts forward the Zionist agenda, which seems to be the driving force in all geopolitics. And if anyone wants to argue that, I've never seen anybody say, hey, there's any higher source. These are Zionist agendas. You read the protocols, that's what's forward. So then we'll segue into Richard Gutjahr, who BBC calls Richard Goodyear, which, you know, it seems like he's having a real good year this year because he's
got two out of them so far.
Right. So he is the source for all of the video that we see about the incident in Nice, France, the Bastille Day incident. Okay, he's the source. He's on the balcony and he's filming the white truck, the famous white truck with no blood on it, and the bullet holes which should have shattered the window.
And mirrors that are missing off of the truck and ending up here on the
Oh, and also, it seems like they may have also used multiple trucks, saying it's the same truck. So Richard Goodyear, he just so happens to be in the perfect position to catch this Nice, France Bastille Day false flag PSYOP operation. And then also, very coincidentally,
while on vacation.
yeah, sorry, Glenn. Yeah, he was on vacation in Nice, France. And he lives in Munich, Germany. So he was the first to put out media information. This is Richard Goodyear, married to Einat Wilf, member of the Knesset, military intelligence operator for the Israeli Defense Force, and high-ranking member of the Mossad. That's his wife. And he just happens to be there, right in position to film the Nice attack, and also right in position to film the Munich attack as well. Just such a coincidence. We got an email from Richard Goodyear saying, I was on vacation in France, and I didn't arrive at the Munich event until 20 minutes afterward. This is what Richard Goodyear said. And actually, I'll see if I can send you the copy of the email so we can add that into the link. And basically, he's acting like a victim, like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's just a, pure coincidence that my daughter, myself, and my wife, the Israeli Mossad agent and member of the Knesset, and associate of all of the prime ministers of Israel, Ehud Barak, Perez, Netanyahu, all of them, it just so happens that this lady's husband is filming all these false flag operations, just like it was so coincidental that the Israeli Mossad agents dressed up like Arabs were dancing around while they were filming the destruction of the World Trade Center building 1, 2, and 7. So just exactly the same way. Just a coincidence, though. Don't listen to me. It's just a coincidence. For all you coincidence theorists.
Yeah, coincidence theorists. I like that. Yeah, because all this stuff just happens to be that way all the time. I mean, it just doesn't. It is getting beyond old. I mean, it was getting old in the 70s, and it's gotten worse. But yeah.
One more thing to cover, because I think this is really important, because, you and I, we comprehend that this is pretty much a thankless work that we do. So going with that, we still work hard, and we still catch these guys. We catch them real quick. So this Richard Goodyear, you and I, the last time we had a show together, we did a program together, you and I discussed Richard Goodyear and Einat Wilf. And this was right after the Bastille Day Nice, France shooting. This was before the Munich shooting. So we put it out there, and then within an hour or two after the Munich shooting, we had already put up a video on Richmond Peace saying, hey, this is Richard Goodyear. He's on the scene. All the pictures from the scene that that are being shown on Huffington Post and all other media outlets are being attributed to Richard Goodyear. And Richard Goodyear is saying this is like something out of a bad movie. That's a quote from Richard Goodyear. And this is in regard to the Munich incident. So what happens, and this is key because basically, that video that we made an hour or so after the Munich shooting, it got like 80,000 views, and a lot of people jumped on it, and they did their own research on Richard Goodyear and Nice, France, Munich, Germany, Einat Wilf, the Mossad, and the connections, etc. And then folks like Alex Jones, they can't ignore it because they want to act like that these are real events, that these are real Muslim terrorists, because they're forwarding the Jewish agenda, they're forwarding the Zionist agenda. And what they say about you and I, Glenn, what Alex Jones directly said about you and I is that we're agents of the Saudi Arabian government, and that we're getting paid lots of money by the Saudi Arabian government for forwarding this false narrative about Richard Gutjahr. Now, I don't know what the false narrative is.
Did you get your check? I didn't get my check.
I have never yet seen my check from...
I haven't even got my white privilege check either, so it doesn't matter about any of that shit.
I just want to say that that's freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculous because Alex Jones is worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. He gets paid millions of dollars. Who's going to pay him? Who runs things? Who's he married to? Oh, an Israeli Jew? Who pays him? Stratfor? He's an agent of Stratfor? Oh, that's the company that pays for him. Who's he work for? The Israeli government? That's right. That's who pays him. Who pays us? Nobody.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah,
the
give me my check, Arabia, if you're the ones behind this. But we all know that the royal family of Saudi Arabia, they're all Jews too. Okay, so sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We're starting to break up again, so I think we should end it here for now and see what we got.
Okay.
I think that was pretty good, mate. Let me check the feeds, and then I'll give you a call back later.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Hey, God bless.
Yeah. All right.